Chassid Rebbe Avram Lando, the Rav of Jembin, known as Avremkeh. Many of the stories we will be relating about him were told by Reb Shmuel Groinem, the Mashpia in Lubavitch, which was Rebbe Avram's Talmid Muvak. So Reb Shmuel Groinem related that Rebbe Avram was a wealthy businessman, and he had a whole business of shipping wood from Russia to Germany. Once he sent a big shipment. It was worth 60,000 ruble from Russia to Germany, and all of it sank in the sea. And he lost all of his fortune, and he became a big Baal Choiv. He owed a lot of money. That very much disturbed him to be able to focus during the learning, until he decided that in order that those thoughts should stop to bother him, he set a specific time to think about it. And that's what he did. He closed his Gemara, he closed his Sefer, and he set aside a time to think about all of his chayves. So when he finished thinking about all his chayves, he said to himself, "No, I don't have any more money because I sold my house, and also the little bit of merchandise that I had, they also sold. So I have nothing else to think about. So I'm done." That's when he opened up the Sefer and returned to learning without being bothered by the thoughts. So once the people of Jembin asked the Rebbe Maharash that he should send them a Rav. This was right after Rebbe Avram lost all of his fortune. So that's when the Rebbe Maharash sent him to be the Rav of Jembin. You could understand that the salary of Rebbe Avram as a Rav was not very big. And besides for that, he also had his own mother living by him. And his mother was used to eating very fancy foods because he used to be wealthy once upon a time. So now Rebbe Avram had a halachic shaila. Is he allowed to spend extra money to feed his mother those fancy foods that she's used to eating? But that extra money he's going to use for that is money that he could have used to pay back people that he owes money to. A person is commanded to honor his mother, kibbud aim, from his own money, but not from other people's money. And Take, his maskana, was that Al Pi Torah he's not allowed to do that. And for the rest of his life, he took away from his salary to pay back his debts, even though a bunch of the Balabatim who he owed money to told him that they are moichel all the debts. He told them that you are saying that you are moichel me all the debt, that's because you know that I don't have any money to give you. But if you would find out that I do have money, then you will not be moichel the debts. Rebbe Avram related that in the week before his chasana, he told his parents that he wants to be alone, and he asked them that they should not speak to him. That's how it was throughout the whole entire week. The chassan was alone by himself. However, a few moments before the chasana, his father walked into his room and he said to him, "Avremkeh, you see that we fulfilled our part. We stayed away from talking to you this whole week. Now I have just one request. Here is a comb, and comb your payas." So Avremkeh took the Sefer HaZohar and he opened it up and he showed his father what it says in Sefer HaZohar, that when a person is mesalsal b'sa'ara, he makes his hair nice, then he's yoinek from the Sitra Achra. And another time, Rebbe Avram related that once I was by the Tzemach Tzedek, together with a few other Chassidim, and amongst the things that they were speaking about, the Chassidim said about a certain person that he is an apikoiris. So the Tzemach Tzedek said he's not an apikoiris, but in Inyane Emuna, even a small chisara and even a chisara in b'mashu could damage. The Chassid Rebbe Avram Jebener was the only Rav in his city, and sometimes they will come to ask him shilas in the middle of davening on Yom Kippur. So Avremkeh said that the questions are not really disturb me from the davening, because they are asking me about halacha. Halacha is ratzon ha'elyon, so it's not really a disturbance from davening. But when the chazan starts to narish machen sich, to go on and on, that confuses my davening. The following story, Avremkeh Jebener did not want to relate, and only one time he related it to Reb Groinem. And he said that Harav HaKodesh Rebbe Nachum Mendel Horodaker said, "Ribono shel olam, with what can I come to you? Only with Krishna Shalamita." And the biur that Reb Groinem gave was that the reason is because anything else, it's possible that he did it with pniyos, with other motives. The only thing that it's not possible that was done with other motives is Krishma Shalamita. At another time, Reb Groinem related, once Reb Avremkeh said, "Twice in my life I cried. The first time I cried was after I lost all of my fortune, and the Rebbe Maharash told me that I should become a Rav in Jembin. I was crying because I had to become a Rav. The second time I cried was after my brother passed away, which was a family member of the Rebbe Maharash. Reb Gredim once related that when Rebbe Avram came to Jembin to become a Rav, he told the Balabatim that it's mekubal in the world that the Balabatim test the Rav to see if he's Ra'oi to become the Rav of the city. But I don't like that system. I want to test all the people of the city to see if they are Ra'oi, that I should be their Rav. And he made an announcement that he's asking that all the people of the city, young and old, should come to him and have a meeting with him, and he's going to speak to each one of them separately. And then he will decide. So after all the people in the city passed through, the last Toishav in the city went in. A poor younger man, who his parnasa was from guarding gardens and orchards. And he told Rebbe Avram that he already went through Be'iyun on the Sfarim Likutei Torah and Imre Bina, and he knows them Baal Peh. It's just that there are a few things there that he doesn't fully understand yet. And the younger man ended off by saying, I really hope that you become the Rav here, so then I'll be able to ask you my questions in Chassidus. So Rebbe Avram called over the Askanim of the city and he told them, I spoke with all the people of the city and I almost decided that I have nothing to do here. And I'm not going to become the Rav. But it's because of that last younger man who spoke to me, I decided to become the Rav here. And Rebbe Gredim finished the story by saying that I am that younger man. When Rebbe Avram came to Jembin, Rebbe Shmuel Gredim went into him and he told him that Rizede was one of the Chassidim of the Mittel Rebbe. And once he went into Yechidus and the Mittel Rebbe told him, when we say B'krishma Shalamito, B'yodcha Afkid Ruchi, we need to sigh. So Rebbe Avremkeh told him, if I would come to Jembin just to hear this vart, that would be worth it. That would be good enough. Dayenu. Rebbe Avram had a minhag to send every year after Pesach a short imra, a short saying, a short pisgam to the guy in Reb Shmuel Ber Borisover, the famous chassid. And he will call over one of the wagon drivers who would travel to Borisov, and he would tell them a line. They should deliver that line to Reb Shmuel Ber Borisover. So one year, he sent him the following line: Chometz bepesach b'mashehu, emuna b'mashehu. When Reb Shmuel Ber Borisover received that vart, he said, now we could explain this vart for a whole entire year. After the Rebbe Maharash was installed at Gimel Tishrei Tafresh Mem Gimel, the Chassidim had a little bit of a doubt in that town in Jembin whether they should go to Lubavitch. At the Elul Tafresh Mem Daled, I went in to Rebbe Avram, says Reb Shmuel Gremer. Shmuel Gremer is relating the story. He says, I went into Rebbe Avram together with my friend, the Mashpia, Reb Moshe, the Chayzer from Jembin, which was a Chayzer in Lubavitch. And it was also a Talmud of Avremkeh Zebener. Both of us were Melamdim in Jembin, and each year, in the end of the Zman, in the middle of Chodesh Elul, we will travel together to the Rebbe Maharash. But now the Rebbe Maharash was istalik, and both the Rebbe Rashab and the Razov refused to accept the Nesius, so we were wondering whether we should go to Lubavitch. But Rebbe Avram told us confidently that we should continue to travel, just like every year. And he said, this solution of just giving some money to tzedakah, that doesn't help. Imagine a person who will go on Shabbos and will find a wallet with money, and he will say to himself that even though there is an Easter to carry the wallet, he's going to take the wallet in order to give it to tzedakah. Obviously, it's Asur. So Rabbi Avram added, and he said that he also wants to travel, but since he's old and weak, he's not able to travel. Rabbi Gredim once related that Rabbi Avram had many hidurim and chumris. For an example, he had a minhag to learn every day Masaches Kala before the Seudah. So the Seudah every day will be counted as a Seudas mitzvah. On Shabbos, he was very much makpid not to look out the window at all. That way, he shouldn't see somebody who is driving. And even though all the Yidden in the city were Shemer Shabbos, Rabbi Avram was afraid maybe he will see a guy who's traveling on Shabbos. And he said that even seeing a guy traveling on Shabbos, that is a chilul of the Kedusha of Shabbos, because seeing it makes a pgam in the nefesh. Another thing was that Rebbe Avram used to eat on the first night of Pesach shmura matzah, and the rest of the Pesach he would eat regular matzah, not shmura matzah, but round and avodas yad, handmade. And when a few people in the city started to be mehader and to eat shmura matzah all the days of Pesach. So they were afraid maybe this will be counted as a yuhara, to be machmir in something that even the Rav is not machmir in. So they went over to the Rav and they asked, how much shmura matzah should we bake this year for the Rav? And they were basically trying to hint to the Rav that, do you want also to get shmura matzah for the whole Pesach, hoping that he will say yes. So that way they will also be able to be mehader like that. But he answered them that no, throughout the whole Pesach I just eat regular matzah. And this went on for a few years. One year they hinted to the Rav that it's gedai, that it should be more mehader and to start eating shmura matzah all the days of Pesach. So Rebbe Avram stroked his beard and he said, Avremkeh wants to start being mehader this year and to eat shmura matzah the whole Pesach. This means that Avremkeh changed and became on a higher level. So again, he looked in his beard and he said, no, Avremkeh still did not become on a higher level and he could still eat regular matzah the whole Pesach. In other words, even though he was a big machmir and a mehader, he only took upon himself hidurim and chumres, which fit his level beruchnius. Shmuel Goren once related that Rebbe Avram passed away on Chol HaMoed Sukkos. Before that, on Erev Yom Kippur, the doctor told him that this year he's not allowed to fast on Yom Kippur. So when I entered his room on Erev Yom Kippur to visit him, he told me, the doctor told me that I'm not allowed to fast on Yom Kippur. So let's say that as a doctor, he understands my sickness. But does he understand what's Yom Kippur? Does he feel the importance of Yom Kippur? However, you, Shmuel, you understand and feel what's Yom Kippur. And you also understand my sickness. So therefore, I'm asking you, do you think that I should fast this Yom Kippur? So I answered him, it is known that the Mezritcher Maggid himself did not fast for 13 years on Yom Kippur. And also, even if you will not fast on Yom Kippur, you will fulfill the Eibishter's will. Because it is the same Torah that tells you to fast on Yom Kippur that tells that a sick person should not fast. Eventually, Rebbe Avram accepted it and he did not fast on Yom Kippur. And he even said that he thinks that this came to him as a punishment for the fact that when he was a Rav, he was usually machmer whenever he came to Shilas about fasting on Yom Kippur. And therefore, he's accepting upon himself that if the Eibishter will help him and he'll be zeichet to recover from his sickness, he will not be machmir anymore on Shilas on fasting on Yom Kippur. However, he did actually pass away a few days later. The first day of Sukkot, Rebbe Avram asked that he should take him to the Sukkah. And he took him to the Sukkah lying in bed. Also in Chol HaMoed, he asked that he should take him to the Sukkah. And that's what he did. And when he felt that his time is close, he's about to pass away, he told me, says Reb Shmuel, that I wanted to continue until after Simchas Torah in order to end all the days of the Yom Tov. But Baruch Hashem, at least, I managed to bench on the Esrog and to be Mekayem Mitzvah Sukkah. When they will call Rebbe Avram Jebener to the Torah for Aliyah, he had to go from his place by the Mizrach in the front of the shul all the way to the Bima. And since it was hard for him to see how everybody get up from their places in his honor, he would cover his face with a talis. However, when he came to an old age, he wouldn't cover his face with a talis anymore. And he would say, now it doesn't disturb me anymore that they're getting up from me. Because that's what it says in the Torah, Mipnei Seva Takum. So they're being Mekayim Mitzvah Sasemi D'Oraisa to get up for an old person. Shmuel Goren once related that Rebbe Avram Jebener said that the Gan Eden that he wishes for himself is to understand in Likutei Torah all the Agoyes with all the Kleine Oisiyes. We'll end off with a Niggun from the Chassidim of the Rebbe Maharash.